All right, so let's have a look at example 11. Example 11 says, determine the inverse of each function. So I'm going to do g of x, and then I want you to do f of x. So finding the inverse of a function has 4 steps. Now, step 1 is to write the defining equation. Now, at step 1, all we do is we take out g of x and say y is equal to 2 minus 7x. Now, step 2 is to interchange x and y. Wherever I see x, I'm going to put y, and wherever I see y, I'm going to put x. So at step 2, we have x is equal to 2 minus 7y. Step 3 is to make y the subject again. So at step 1, y is the subject. And at step 3, we need to make y the subject again. So for that, I'm going to have 7 minus 7y on the left. Sorry, on the right, I'm going to bring it over to the left, and it becomes positive 7y is equal to 2 minus x. Positive x on the left goes over to the right and become negative. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 7. And when I do, I'm going to end up with y is equal to 2 minus x over 7. So we have step 1, step 2, and step 3. Now step 4. For step 4, we simply take out y and say g inverse of x is equal to 2 minus x over 7. This is step 4. So we're finding the inverse of function. 4 steps. At step 1, we take out g of x and put in y. At step 2, we interchange x and y. At step 3, we make y the subject. And at step 4, we take out y and say g inverse x is equal to 2 minus x over 7. All right, I just found the inverse of g of x. I want you to find the inverse of f of x. All right, so let's find the inverse of f. Remember, when we're finding the inverse of a function, it's 4 steps. So step 1 is to take out f of x and say y is equal to 3x minus 1. Now, step 2 is to interchange x and y. Wherever you see x, you put y. Wherever you see y, you put x. So step 2, we have x is equal to 3y minus 1. Now, step 3 is to make y the subject again. That means I need to have y by itself on one side. So we're going to carry over the minus 1. We have x plus 1 is equal to 3y. Negative 1 on the right goes over to the left and becomes positive. Then I divide the entire equation by 3, because remember, I need y by itself. So I have x plus 1 over 3 is equal to y. Turn it around, we have y is equal to x plus 1 over 3. And the last step is to take out y and say f inverse of x is equal to x plus 1 over 3. All right. So next we're going to look at more complex functions in which we need to find the inverse. So I'm turning the page. So as I said previously, I'm going to do one and I want you to do the next. I'm going to do h of x and I want you to do k of x. We're learning how to find the inverse. So B says h of x is equal to 5x over x plus 1, and we must find the inverse. Finding the inverse of a function is 4 steps, and step 1 is to take out h of x and say y is equal to 5x over x plus 1. Now, step 2 is to interchange x and y. That means wherever I see x, I'm going to put y, and wherever I see y, I'm going to put x. So I have x is equal to 5y over y plus 1. Now, step 3 is to make y the subject again. So just changing up the ink for step 3. So we need to make y the subject again. It means that when I'm finished, I must have only one y. Right now I have 2. Now, if I have one fraction is equal to one fraction, to get rid of the fractions, one thing I can do is I can cross multiply. So I'm going to cross multiply. So I have x multiplied by y plus 1. Y plus 1 is a sum. And whenever you're multiplying a sum, you always put it in brackets. Now multiply, and this is equal to 1 times 5y, which is 5y. Remember, I'm at step 3, where the objective is to make y the subject again. Now, next I'm going to remove the brackets by applying distributive law. X times y is xy. X times 1 is x. And this is equal to 5y. Next thing, I need everything that has y in it on one side and everything that don't have in y on the other side. Now, based on my experience, I would take my xy over to the right. Over to the right, I already have 5y. And by doing this, I'll ensure that the x that's by itself remains positive. So I'm leaving the x over to the left, and over to the right, I have 5y minus xy. So at this point, I took everything that has y in it on one side and everything that don't have in y on the other side. Over to the right, I'm going to factor out the y. Y is common. So I'm going to factorize over the right-hand side. Y into 5y is 5, and y into xy is x. So that's the only way. By factorizing is the only way you can end up with only one y. Then I'm going to divide over here by 5 minus x, and I'm going to also divide over here by 5 minus x. That cancels that, and so we end up with y is equal to x over 5 minus x. Step 3 is to make y the subject again. Now, step 4 is to write in function notation. So step 4, therefore, take out y and say h inverse of x is equal to x over 5 minus x. All right, take it in. I just did h of x. I want you now to do k of x. All right, so the second part of B, we're told that k of x is equal to 3x over 1 minus 2x. And we're asked to find k inverse of x. So let's start with our 4 steps. Step 1, take out k of x and say y is equal to 3x over 1 minus 2x. Now, step 2 is to interchange x and y. Wherever I see x, I'm going to put y. Wherever I see y, I'm going to put x. So this is 3y over 1 minus 2y. Now, step 3 is to make y the subject again. So I'm going to put this over 1. I'm going to change the color ink. I'm going to put this over 1. Now, if I have one fraction is equal to one fraction, to get rid of the fractions, I'm going to cross multiply. So this is x multiplied by 1 minus 2y. And this is equal to 1 times 3y, which is 3y. Remember, whenever you multiply a sum or a difference, you always put it in brackets. So I'm going to remove the brackets by applying distributive law. Distributive law says whatever is in the bracket is multiplied by what is immediately outside the bracket. So x times 1 is x. X times 2y is 2xy. And this is equal to 3y. I need all the y's on one side. So I'm going to have x is equal to 3y plus 2xy. At least that's what I see. Over to the right, y is common. So we have y. Y into 3y is 3. Y into 2xy is 2x. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 3 plus 2x. So this cancels this. And so what I end up with is y is equal to x over 3 plus 2x. So step 3 is to make y the subject again. And the last step, step 4, is simply to write in function notation. And for that, we just simply take out y and say k inverse of x is equal to x over 3 plus 2x. It's x over 3 plus 2x. So very good, Chanel. You got it correct.